White House. You showed up, you knocked on doors, you registered folks to vote, and you made it happen. You did that. You did that. And so now we are asking you to do it again. Do it again. Let's do it again. So, Savannah, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, God bless you and God bless the United States. Afternoon, Savannah.
이렇게 타급더라 끝난다.
Oh, good afternoon. Oh, it's good to be back in Savannah. Good afternoon.
Kasi kagtun. Pero ciri itu loh
Can we
lah.
please hear for Caitlin?
Madi banding kena hari. Kena kita lelewa. Naik pateri.
Incredible
Malakwa
leadership.
lelewa.
Look, when I look out at our young leaders like Caitlin, I know our future is so bright. It is so bright. I want to thank Mayor Johnson. Thank you for there you are. We've been hanging out for the last 2 days. Mayor, I thank you so very much for your leadership. Thank you. Congresswoman Nikema Williams, the chair of the Democratic Party of Georgia.
Jadi paginya nada tu. Nage cuma ni markata.
And to all the leaders with us today, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I also bring greetings from our president and a great friend of the state of Georgia, Joe Biden. And let us also send our love to the great president from the state of Georgia, Jimmy Carter.
Every na ni markata Amerika ke kera ora. Kan taki koda Barbin.
And we have 68 days to go until this election. 68 days to go. And I think you all have spent your time here, sacrificing all your other obligations to be here together, us as one community, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And I thank you for taking that time.
Avec le piscine, l'automne, c'est la saison spa par excellence. Obtenez jusqu'à 4100 $ en rabais et avantages sur les spas jacuzzi et solstice, incluant 900 $ de tapis chauffants et jusqu'à 5700 $ en rabais et avantages sur les spas de nage. Seulement chez Club Piscine.
Once there was a mother and their 2 sons, and nothing could hurt them as long as they stay connected to their home.
I know this life's been hard on you boys since the world ended. But that rope is your lifeline. Say it.
Never let go.
Agak jar kemani bo. Hidar ko. Buru arga dem. Kau kene nyar kurbur priba.
And listen, so we're here to speak truth. And one of the things that we know, this is going to be a tight race until the very end. Okay? So let's not pay too much attention to the polls because we are running as the underdog. Okay? And we have some hard work ahead of us. But we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work is good work. And with your help, we are going to win this November. We are going to win this November. Yes, we will. So look, Georgia, let me say, I'm no stranger to tough fights.
Before I
was elected vice president, before I was elected a United States senator, I was an elected attorney general, and before that, an elected district attorney. And before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor. So every day, in the courtroom, I stood proudly before a judge and I spoke 5 words. Kamala Harris for the people. My entire career, I've only had one client, the people. I stood for women and children against predators who abused them. I took on the big banks and delivered $20 billion from middle-class families who faced foreclosure. I fought against cartels who traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings. And I stood up for veterans and students being scammed by big for-profit colleges. Who were being cheated out of the wages they were due, and for seniors facing elder abuse. And I will tell you, those fights were not easy, and neither were the elections that put me in those offices. But we never gave up, because the future is always worth fighting for. Right now, a fight for America's future. We fight for a future with affordable child care, paid leave, and affordable health care. And on that last subject, let's finally expand Medicaid in Georgia. So people can take their child to a doctor or go to an emergency room without going into medical debt. We fight for a future where we build what I call an opportunity economy, so that every American has the opportunity to own a home, to start a business, and to build wealth and intergenerational wealth. And a future where we lower the cost of living for America's families. So when I was Attorney General, I went after price-fixing schemes. And love you back. And I will tell you, when we get this done together, my friend, and when I am president, I will take on the bad actors who exploit a crisis to rip off consumers on everyday items. Rip off consumers.
Ottawa is a big, small town, which means if you don't deliver, word gets around. There's a reason why Preston Hardware still proudly stands on Preston Street, with over 100,000 square feet of showroom, warehouse, and retail. But that's just because they're a big, small-town hardware store. When you have questions for Ralph in electrical or Ivano in plumbing, they have answers. Stop by Preston Hardware and see why being small has big benefits.
Durante el Wilon, Maru, Wilari Bataille. Xem một cái miếng nam, có quên không? Cái đó có không? Cái khó đua rồi cái nào rồi cái nào mình mua được cái bao có cái gì có. resuscitable but to do kodo kama hakula sai la ki tane ka ba priority to mo la ba pho ya bo patudo kodo ka ba khya wa thi to mo pho la ba pho ya bo
items like groceries. I will take on Big Pharma and cap the cost of prescription drugs and insulin for all Americans. I will take on the high cost of housing and work with developers to cut the red tape and build millions of new homes. And I will give 100 million Americans a tax cut, including $6,000 to families during the first year of their child's life.
Interesting. But not over. Listen, my friend.
Folks just need a little help from time to time, and it's not about just getting by, it's about getting ahead. $6,000 in the first year of a child's life to help pay for that car seat or the crib or the baby clothes. And unlike Donald Trump, I will always put the middle class and working class families first. Always. I come from the middle class. I know what I'm talking about. And Savannah, but we got some work to do, okay? We got some work to do because we know Donald Trump has a very different plan. He has a very different plan. Just look at his Project 2025 agenda. Right. If he is elected, Donald Trump intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations. He intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. To impose what in effect is a national sales tax on everyday products and basic necessities. And it will cost, the economists will tell you, it will cost a typical American family nearly $4,000 a year. So Georgia, on top of all of this, if Donald Trump wins in November, he intends to end the Affordable Care Act, to take us back to a time when insurance companies we're not going back. We're going forward. And the reason we know we can't go back, to your point, the reason we know we can't go back on the issue of the Affordable Care Act, remember what that was like before we had the Affordable Care Act? Remember when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions? Remember what that was like? Children with asthma, breast cancer survivors, grandparents with diabetes. So yeah, we're not going back. We're not going back. And we will move forward. Ours is a fight for the future. And it is a fight for freedom. Like the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. And understand how we got here. When he was president, Donald Trump handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did just as he intended. And now, more than 20 states have a Trump abortion ban, including Georgia. In fact, every state in the South, except for Virginia, has a Trump abortion ban. And think about that. Many, with no exceptions even for rape and incest. That is immoral. And let us all agree, one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do. Trump will go further. He will sign a national abortion ban. You best believe. And he would create a national anti-abortion coordinator and force states to report on women's miscarriages and abortions. It's right there in Project 2025. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Simply put, they are out of their minds. Trust women. Well, we trust women. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. Proudly. And across our nation, in addition to that, we are witnessing a full-on assault on other hard-fought, hard-won fundamental freedoms. Let me just say something. Hold up for a second. Hold up for a second. Let me just say something. We are fighting for democracy. Everyone has a right and should have their voices heard. I am speaking now, but on the subject, I will say this. The president and I are working around the clock. We've got to get a hostage deal done and get a ceasefire done now. So back to this election and Trump. So, in addition to the fight on the fundamental freedom to make decisions about one's own body, I have been traveling our country, and the people of Georgia know what I know. There is a full-on assault on hard-fought, hard-won freedoms and rights, including the freedom to vote, the freedom to be safe from gun violence. And an attack on the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. And we will fight against all of that, including the freedom to live free from the pollution that fuels the climate crisis. Here's the thing. Generations of Americans before us led the fight for freedom. Now, Savannah, the baton is in our hands.
这到个地方呢，一个给路提姐，是咋来去呢？